You're listening to TV Tangents, and today we're bringing you a short episode where I tell Natalie a fun fact, which she may or may not know. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Rebecca.
Are you familiar with Sophia Loren, the actress?
I am.
And can you name anything she was in? I mean, you don't have
There's
to.
too much pressure.
I know.
No.
But you know who she is.
Lots of
Everyone
things.
knows
I know
who Sophia
exactly
Loren
who
is.
she is, yes.
She is a silver screen icon.
Yes.
And
big times, like, sex symbol from back in the day.
yes, she's still alive, isn't she?
I think so. I feel like she is.
I think she is.
I'll have to
Okay.
look that up while we're talking.
So yeah, she's one of the, beautiful silver screen women. I'm going to tell you about how she got married without being at the wedding.
Oh,
Did you know you could do
interesting.
that?
She's 90, by the way.
Oh, she is still alive, and
Yes.
she's 90. Okay. She seems like she should be older than that.
Yeah.
But
Big time.
as I discovered, she got her start very, very young.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
Interesting.
she's still with us.
Yes.
So we're not going to get into the earliness of her relationship with producer Carlo Ponti because it's kind of disturbing that they met when she was 16 and he was like 36
Interesting.
and he was married. But we don't have time for all that because this
Okay.
is a short episode. So she was having a relationship with this man, and that was like, he saw her at a beauty contest or something, and that's how she got into acting in the first place because he was an Italian producer. So he proposed to her in 1954, but they kept the engagement secret because he was still trying to divorce his first wife. So Sophia was like 19 at this time.
Okay.
In the 50s, Italia. In the 50s, Italy, I mean, it is still very Catholic.
Okay.
Divorce was illegal.
Yeah.
So Carlo could not divorce his wife, Giuliana Fiastra, and he could not marry Sophia Loren,
Okay.
even though his wife was kind of like, yeah, just take it and go. I don't care. So they decided to get an old-fashioned Mexican divorce.
Oh,
They literally went to Mexico
okay.
and got a divorce, which is a thing that you would do in the 50s.
Interesting.
Kind of like going to Reno to get
Yeah.
divorced or married or whatever. 3 years later, in 1957, Carlo and Sophia were married by proxy. And this means that neither of them were there.
Okay.
Right. So a marriage by proxy is usually done in like the military or something when one of the spouses can't attend the wedding
Yeah.
and they need to get married. It means that someone stands in for one of those parties. But in this case, they had two male lawyers, stood in front of a judge and got married
Okay.
as them, as Sophia and Carlo.
All right. Didn't understand.
This happened in Juarez, Mexico. I guess
Okay.
Mexico was the place to go in the
place
50s.
when you need everything. All right.
When you need things done on the sly.
There you go.
That still wasn't the solution that they needed to get married because according to Italian law, Carlo was still married
Right.
because they got divorced in Mexico
Yeah.
and he got married in Mexico. So they didn't recognize his Mexican divorce, but they did recognize his Mexican marriage. In 1962, he was charged with bigamy
I was going to say. Okay.
and he was ordered to stand trial. But in order to avoid prosecution, Sophia and Carlo had their marriage annulled in Mexico,
Okay.
but they continued to live together. Because by now, Carlo's wife is just like, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Right. I'm done.
Like, I'm good. Just go on. And they had kids and everything, as far as I know. In 1965, they both became French citizens. Carlo and Sophia became French citizens, which then allowed Carlo to divorce his wife because it was recognized in France.
Okay.
I don't know how that works on his wife's part because she's still in Italy.
She's still
I
there.
don't know.
So she's still married, but whatever.
So then, yeah. So Carlo and Sophia got married again in 1966. And they had an actual wedding this time.
Okay.
And they were married until his death in 2007 at age 94.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a marriage that lasted. They had kids.
Wow.
And everything. And as far as I know, he was her only husband.
Yeah. I think I just saw that when I looked up her age.
Because, you think a lot of those Hollywood actresses have had a lot of marriages.
And
And
they were married from 66 to 07.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
You'd never heard of marriage by proxy, nor had I.
No.
I didn't know you could do that. But can you imagine they've got like these two guys in suits in
marry
Mexico
each other, technically?
marrying each other?
Yeah. Do you, as speaking for
Right.
Sophia Loren, married
Right.
this guy who is speaking
Who's
for
also not
Carlos?
here.
That is so weird. I can't
wild.
even, and it's funny that you mentioned that about like if in the military where that could happen. I'm like, that still just seems so. I get legalities of everything. When you need a legal document saying this for many reasons, health insurance,
Right.
pensions, all the things. But to think, like, can you imagine saying you got married to someone and you weren't there?
Yeah. Right.
How would you ever actually feel married? That's
Yeah.
so weird.
Right. And the sad thing is that
Strange.
Sophia Loren wanted like the traditional wedding and all that, but she
Yeah.
never actually got it. Like their 1966 wedding was small and
It was just probably like, meh.
yeah, and
already
the
been
first
together.
one they weren't even there. And what do you do on your wedding day
Yeah.
when it's happening in Mexico and you're in Italy?
So, yeah.
You're like, hey, we're getting married right now.
So that's the other thing.
Congratulations.
Did they call just lawyers who were in Mexico to do this?
I don't know.
Or did they just not
like were they on the
go?
phone?
Yeah.
Were they, like I have no idea how that works.
That's so
I don't know if they
interesting.
have a party. I don't know. But like, yeah, he got in a lot of trouble. And I even found an article from 1962 that was in a magazine that was like, okay, so Carlo Ponte's being arrested because he's not legally divorced from his wife.
That's so weird.
But wow, the lengths that they went to be married in the first place. But also, he's kind of a predator. But also, I mean, they seem to have loved each other. But
Yeah. Because then they would have been together, what, 40 years?
That's a
43
lot.
years.
I don't know.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's an interesting story, though.
Yeah.
See, I go down these rabbit holes, and then I don't come out until I have something to say on the TikTok. You think you know what a person's life was, and then you hear stuff.
Or just a random fact like that you can get married without being there.
Yeah,
like
I had no idea.
That's good to know.
I had no idea. Probably other people knew that, but I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I just assumed. I mean, you have to have witnesses and things. So if you have to have a witness, don't you also have to be there?
Right? They're witnessing someone else getting married
Right.
for you.
I'm like, again, none of that makes sense.
And like, how did they not? How did they not know that this wasn't going to work?
Yeah.
How did they think? Well,
You can't go
you're
back
divorced.
to living where you
No.
were. It's like, I mean, yeah, I feel like even recently, I feel like when I was younger, listening to like kids I went to school with whose parents got divorced.
Yeah.
And in the Catholic Church, you had to like get an annulment in order to even go back to church or something. But I know
Yes.
they've changed all that since.
I think that's also a thing in the Mormon church is that you cannot continue to be in the Mormon church
Right.
unless you have a very good reason for divorce. And then usually the other person has to claim fault or something like
Right.
that. But again, I'm just saying that from what I've heard from people that I
Right.
know.
And that's all I knew back in the day. But I know that it's changed because a good friend of ours recently got remarried in the Catholic Church. And so we do know that that's a thing. So,
Which I was also confused about because I was like thinking about, when we were kids and what the rules were. I'm not Catholic, but my mom converted to be Lutheran so that she could marry my dad. And that was in the 60s. I know a lot of people who converted because they had to.
yeah. I mean, my dad had to become Catholic to marry
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, I don't think you have to anymore, but you can. And people do.
Yeah, you do different. I don't know what. Yeah, same thing. I know a lot of Catholic Lutheran marriages happen, and I don't know that you have to.
Yeah, I don't think you have.
I just, yeah, I don't know enough about any of that stuff anymore.
Maybe
so
everybody just got tired of keeping track.
people are just like, and this is why I obviously do weddings every weekend, and this is why everybody just gets married at the venue.
Right.
Because they don't
we
care.
all get married at the pumpkin patch.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that was a fun fact.
That is
That
a
one
fun
was
fact.
a little fun.
That is. That is definitely a fun fact.
Sometimes our facts aren't so fun.
No. They're good, though. I like it. Interesting tidbits.
All right. Well, that was a quickie, and thanks for having a quickie with me now.
Yes. Having a quickie with you.
All righty. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right. Bye.